greased palms and dirty tricks in those hard-to-get-at high places.
Boy, that Mexicam, it sure sounds terrific.
Use laundered Mexican money. It really pays off.
And now, Mrs. Agnew's Diary, brought to you by the makers of whitewash. Yesterday, John Dean informed Mrs. Agnew that there was a cancer on the presidency. Heartbroken and confused, Judy decided not to tell her husband, hoping against hope that the president could raise the $1 million needed for a cure.
Spicky, why are you home so early today?
Judy, I have something to tell you.
Spicky, what is it?
My vibrant vipitude has become vitiated.
What?
I've been torpedoed by a tattletale trio of tax-tallying termagants.
What?
I've been forced to forswear my fertile fief and confess to a foolscap of fiscal felonies by a phalange of fee-fi-fo-fumming feds.
What?
Horrible happenstance has hustled in 100 million more heartbeats between yours truly and his nibs.
What?
I've said sayonara to my secondary satrapy. I've trilled ta-ta to the torrid two-spot. My penultimate proximity to the presidency has gone poof.
What?
In a nutshell, I've entered a NOLO to numerous no-nos. It's RIP and PDQ for the VP. The IRS found out I was getting IOUs on the QT.
What?
They caught me with my hand in the till. I'm out on my ass.
You mean we don't have to sit through any more of Dick's screenings of Patton? Or go to another of Pat's Catsup roast? Or play puck pool with David Eisenhower ever again?
Why no, Judy, we won't.
Or play Capture the Flag at Camp David? Or listen to Rebozo's story of how he caught the 50-pound tuna with a big pen and a shoelace? Or let Henry Kissinger be us at risk?
I hadn't thought of that. Judy, where are you going?
I'm going out to get a cage of sheriff bill and 20 pounds of cheese dip! Whoopee! This calls for a celebration. Pappy Hayes is here again. The guys have shoes and beer again. Let's wash our clothes and cheer again. Pappy Hayes is here again.
Gente que gustan de emociones a granel y...
And with the Wyoming float, the pass-by of the states seems to be winding up.
Nope, there seems to be some activity at the White House now, Wallace. The door is opening.
Yes, the door is opening, and... oh, I can't stand it. Oh, my God.
There, Wallace. Ladies and gentlemen, there can't be a dry eye in America at this moment as the presidential tape console is being wheeled ceremoniously out the door by 6 Secret Service men.
It's not that, Barbara. It's the sight of little Julie Eisenhower bravely saluting as her daddy.
Oh, cool it, Wallace. Yes, the presidential party is coming down the steps now. Wally, the very steps down which Senator Edward Kennedy accidentally pushed Governor Wallace's wheelchair earlier today.
Yes, that was a lighthearted moment, Barbara. You're right. And, of course, the governor tumbled down 9 or 10 steps, but I thought he took it awfully well.
He did. He certainly did.
And turning now to fashions, Barbara, which I know is your department, I must say that as the colorful array of officialdom marches past us now just behind these lovely floats, the First Lady is decked out in some stunning and remarkable jewelry. Brilliant, simply brilliant. And of course, both of her daughters are appropriately hung in the same manner, as it were. You're not badly hung yourself, Barbara. Okay, just kidding, Barbara.
Oh, Wally, you know, the Nixon ladies' jewelry is from Swank. They're wearing silver ankle bracelets with matching chains, to which are attached authentic 50-pound lead balls. David and Ed are sporting more manly sets of sterling handcuffs from Balanchine.
On Introduction to the Performing Arts.
Número y se pega.
To New York.
And now it's time for another touch and tap your way to popularity lesson from Rosemary Woods.
Hi there, this is Rosemary Woods. You know, I used to be just a little secretarial drudge. Today, I am highly paid sought after by famous men, and my name is a household word. And I owe it all to the Richard Nixon method. Ready now? All together. Let's do the sidestepping sensation that's sweeping the nation. You put your right foot down, you put your left hand out, you push down on the treadle and the tapes get all whacked out. You do the hanky-panky and you push the button down, and that's what it's all about.
I don't like pop psych, no matter who's doing it.
In Washington today, Deputy Press Secretary Gerald Warren issued a list of the president's movements for the week. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, good one, some blood.
She'll be trying for her fourth chance to win one of these 5 1974 Chevrolet.
The National Lampoon's live coverage of the impeachment ceremonies will continue after this commercial message.
Hi, I'm An.
Hi, I'm Cole.
Hi, I'm La.
Notice how when we stand together, our three names spell An,
Cole?
La.
Uncola. Ha ha!
We're taste drivers for 7-Up, the Uncola.
Right, Cole. We perform really crazy taste tests for the 7-Up company.
But we're not crazy, no sir.
Now Cole will lay on his back with his mouth open, while Un stands high atop a 10-foot ladder and pours 7-Up into his mouth. Here goes. How's it taste, Cole?
Ready. Even after a 10-foot pour, 7-Up still tastes fresh, light, and delicious.
So take it from An.
And La.
Uncola.
7-Up, the Uncola, is our taste-tested choice.
You bet. We're just crazy about 7-Up, the Uncola.
But we're not crazy.
Have you ever been to a rock and roll recital? There's one coming your way December 29th in the Fairgrounds Coliseum. 6 hours of total rock and roll starring Johnny Winter, one of the greatest rock guitarists today. The holiday concert for 1973 is at the Coliseum. 6 hours of the hottest rock and roll this year, starring Johnny Winter, the James Gang, Spirit, the New York Dolls, and
Let me tell you about it.
Brownsville Station.
Sitting in the classroom thinking it's a trap. Listening to the teacher rap, just ain't my bag.
It happens December 29th, 5 p.m. at the Coliseum.
I'm alive and well. I'm alive and well. I'm still alive and well.
Tickets are only $5. Get yours now at Ross and Babcock, Ross and Young, all 12 Union Federal offices, and the usual out-of-town locations.
Mr. President, you're really something. You accept millions of dollars in illegal contributions, impound desperately needed funds for health and education, veto vital bills, fire the only honest members of your administration, put the country on a phony nuclear alert, destroy evidence of crimes, and you still have energy to go on nationwide TV at night and lie to the American people. How do you do it?
Well, I take Thorazine. You should too.
Mr. President, you're incredible. We don't think we'll keep you.
And now, live from the caucus room in the old Senate office building, NLAP brings you uninterrupted coverage of the hearings of the Senate Select Committee on Presidential Campaign Activities.
Up. You rise, please. Up. State your name, please.
H.R. Bob Haldeman.
All right, now. Would you mind raising your right hand, please, Mr. Baldwin? Thank you. Now, do you swear to tell the truth? The whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you.
To the best of my recollection, sir, yes.
All right, Mr. Senator, go.
Now, Mr. Ehrlichman, we have a deposition here from a Mr. John Dean. It states here that on June the 16th, that was the day before the Watergate break-in, you were in possession of $800,000 in $100 bills.
That's right, that's correct, right.
You mind telling the committee where that money came from?
I found it.
Now, just a minute there. Now, what was that money used for, Miss Magruder?
Well, it was mostly used for things around the office. Felt tip pens, mostly.
Oh, felt tip pen.
A lot of big bananas last
Run
year.
into something.
I think the time for levity is over, Mr. LaRue. There are two central burning issues that must be resolved here today.
Yes.
What did the president know, and when did he stop knowing it?
Now, Mr. Hunt, we have evidence here that you had an intimate relationship with the unsuccessful assassin of Governor George Wallace, Mr. Arthur Bremer.
Oh, look, I don't know how intimate it was. We slept together a couple times.
All right, now, just a minute here.
No big deal.
Well, we also have further evidence that on behalf of the committee to re-elect the president, you personally hired Mr. Bremer to commit this assassination.
I did no such thing. I think Mr. Bremer misunderstood my remarks at a particular time, that's all, sir.
Do you think you could recall those remarks for us?
I just happened to say somebody should kill that redneck.
All right, now.
I tell you, that Artie Bremer's nuts.
We have some order here, please. Now,
he's not dealing with a full deck, you know, he's crazy.
I'd like some order here. Refrain from that kind of emotional bedroom in the courtroom here. Now, Mr. Spaghetti, Mr. Spaghetti, what is the name? Yeah, Mr. Buttermilk. Now, we can make a committee understand that the president's testimony of the president testimony tape recordings of the president's telephone conversations in the overray room of the White House. That the flannel ball, the belly, the thin son of all of the zippity doodah. Excuse me. That reminds me of a story. Well, you may remember in the book, chapter verse 5, book 4, chapter 5, the Lord and the Moab went down to the land of the Canaanites and set out in the hairy man the end. Now, Mr. Bell, when will those tapes be released, Mr. Bell, Burger King, Bell, Bills, Bang? Just answer the question, boy.
Two-door classic. Thank you, Barbara. But turning now to some of the more poignant moments here. Of course, how can this nation ever forget the start of today's parade as the Ehrenberg float made its way down Pennsylvania Avenue? Barbara, I know for you there were many moving moments. You'll pardon the alliteration. Perhaps you'd care to describe one or two of them to our viewers.
Well, the strangling of the bald eagle was it for me.
It was thrilling, and of course the effigy burning, but here they come now, Barbara.
Yes, the Vietnam veterans. Yes, it's a march past of all those unsung cowards and maniacs who for 10 long weary years reduced Southeast Asia to a combination of hamburger and kitty litter. Oh, I can't resist a uniform.
Neither can I, Barbara. And of course, first the 100th Souvenir Squad, the Dink Skinners. There they go, and now the 128th Defoliation Unit, the Fearless Weed Killers.
The 434th Testicle Interrogation Unit, known as the Shock Troops, and innumerable other sadistic child molesters, PX millionaires, and mad bombers who were, after all, only following their own orders.
Okay, Barbara. And now here's a contingent of our heroic POWs. Many of whom spent years in prison in Hanoi courageously resisting the persistent efforts of their North Vietnamese captors to brainwash them into thinking that the United States is run by a tiny clique of criminals dominated by powerful business interests, bankrolled by huge monopolistic corporations, and working hand in glove with the CIA in a campaign of intrigue at home and abroad.
Jesus, why did they bother?
Oh, I don't know, Barbara. Now, here comes the biggest division of all, the sharpshooters. And each of them are proudly bearing 3 bars on their medal. One for accuracy, one for speed, and one for heroin.
Back your troubles in a nickel bag and smile, smile, smile. While you Lucifer to melt your skag. Smile, boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So back up your troubles in a nickel bag and smile, smile, smile.
And now, the private enterprise entries in this great Impeachment Day parade. Tributes from the private sector to the man who searched out and rounded up every potential criminal in the country and put them all on the White House payroll.
Okay, and yes, the John Dean float seems to be a great favorite for the crowd. It's a giant papier-mâché rat. And oh, look at that, Barbara. High above the parade flies an enormous inflated dollar. And I believe that's a Goodyear contribution.
Here's an interesting float, Wallace. It's a huge telephone with a woman perched on top. That must be Martha Mitchell, huh?
Oh, wrong again, Barbara. It's the ITT entry, and that's Dita Beard up there, this year's Miss Memo.
Well, the parade seems to have reached the impeachment podium on the steps of the Capitol. But, Wallace, I wonder if you noticed, as I did, that all the floats were being pulled along by groups of very strong, and I should say very attractive Negroes. That is, persons of the colored persuasion.
Yes, Barbara, some of them are very handsome. How about that third one from the left? And, of course, as you know, that was the ex-president's last wish. He felt it would conserve much-needed fuel during the energy crisis and give a new meaning to black power.
Turno para el catarro.
How you do? And now here are the out-of-town scores. Catonsville 9, Chicago 7. Strontium 90, LSD 25 in an upset. And here's a late score. Slaughterhouse 5, Kent State 4. Back to you, Carl.
Okay, thank you, Fred. And while we're waiting for the start of today's World Football League game between Las Vegas Casinos and the Wilmington Corporations, for the benefit of you folks who are watching WFL competition for the first time, let's just review a few of the rule changes in the game instituted by former Vice President Agnew and Frank Sinatra when they formed the WFL. First, a losing team, or a team that is leading but wants to improve its position, can elect to go for a 6-point kickback by passing $5,000 to Mr. Agnew. They can then follow up with an extra point by kicking in $1,000 to Mr. Agnew's legal defense fund. Now, in tight end-of-the-game situations, when only a few seconds are left on the clock, and the losing team thinks it has a chance to tie things up or make a go-ahead touchdown, the coach can buy time for a play series at $1,500 a minute, or 2 timeouts for an even $1,000. Now, when a quarterback is faced with 4th down and long yardage, he can decide to go for broke by sending 2 special players called greenbacks deep into the end zone with $2,000 for the Agnew pension fund. Well, I see the team captains are going to the center of the field to toss coins, bills, checks, and money orders into the Agnew mortgage basket to determine who will receive. So let's pause for station identification.
And so we intend to pursue our efforts to obtain a lasting peace in the Mideast through consultations
Daddy, I only have 3 cavities.
Well, that's swell, Debbie, but I'm in the middle of a press conference right now.
Excuse me, Mr. Ziegler, but only 3 cavities? How did she do it?
I brushed with Crest.
Mr. Ziegler, in its latest edition, the Washington Post published your daughter's dental records, and they indicate that she had, in fact, 14 cavities. Would you care to comment?
Well, Mr. Olson, that was a very distorted report. I think you'll find that many of the tooth areas of tooth problems were true decay situations, but rather local dental, that is, minor dental repairs, and although in some cases filling and drilling might be required, this would not be the case if a cavity, but more a preventative measure, and would probably be considered a kind of cleaning. That is part of the regular cleaning of the teeth.
Mission impeachable.
Good morning, Mr. Hunt. Several high-ranking members of the Democratic Party are attempting to seize control of the government of the United States by legitimate means. They plan to use a free press, open discussion of the issues, and the universal franchise in an all-out effort to win the presidency. Should they succeed, all our efforts to repeal the Bill of Rights, pack the Supreme Court with right-wing morons, intimidate the media, suppress dissent, halt social progress, promote big business, and crush the Congress will be destroyed. Your mission, E, should you choose to accept it, is to stop these men once and for all by ensuring that the weakest of them, Senator George McGovern, wins the nomination, and then sabotaging his campaign by any possible means. You will have at your disposal electronic bugging equipment, burglary tools, wigs, voice alteration devices, a camera disguised as a tobacco pouch, forged documents, a safe house, 500 loyal but clumsy Cubans, and $2 million in $100 bills. As always, if any member of your CIA force is caught or killed, the President will disavow any knowledge of your activities. This administration will self-destruct in 16 months. Good luck, Howie.
The Justice Department announced today the discovery of information linking former White House aides John Dean and John Ehrlichman to the kidnapping of the children of Mrs. Alice Crimmins. This late development came as no surprise to Watergate prosecutors, who just last night disclosed the release of evidence that the Sharon Tate murders may have been engineered by a faction of the committee to re-elect the president, led by H.R. Haldeman, Jack Ruby, Richard Speck, and Lieutenant William Kelly. And in other news, federal narcotics agents today raided a house near the university where they arrested 3 men and seized 2 pounds of top ground round with a street value of $35,000.
Psychological meeting with many of the patients 24 hours a day.
And now, we return to the thrilling conclusion of the FBI.
No, man, this is not the place. It must be across the street.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's it, man. Water got the apartment.
Yes, now we're gonna get in, but how are we gonna do that, man? There's a doorman there.
The door, I'm gonna distract the doorman. Hey, doorman! Your fly is down! You crazy spaz.
But wait a minute now, man, the door is locked. How are we gonna, you got a credit card?
Are you me? I don't even have credit. I got no credit, man.
I got it. I know what we do. We break the door down, traditional Cuban style.
Cuba si, Castro no. Cuba si, Castro no. Cuba si, Castro no. We got it.
Listen, you
Nice, man. Okay, you look under the door.
Okay,
I'm gonna take all the light bulbs.
Something.
I know I'm in there. If I don't come out with my hands up, I'm coming in after me.
I think making a snap judgment about somebody's psychological...
27.
But let's go down now to the podium for the official swearing-out ceremony conducted by the Right Reverend Billy Graham.
God damn you, Richard Nixon! Richard Nixon, you son of a... Get the hell out of here, you lied your ass off!
Well, that's about it for America's Day of Shame. The president has been officially impeached, and the eternal microphone has been switched on as the CIA brass band plays wiretaps. But Barbara, this is not only an historic moment, it's a personal one. What has impeachment meant to the little people, the ordinary, simple people? You, for example, Barbara.
Well, Wallace, I just don't think that the American people should in any way be ashamed of this tragic occurrence. Although a bunch of bleeding heart do-gooders have used constitutional force to do away with our beloved president, this country is still founded on the age-old traditional values of bribery, violence, and assassination. And just because there are a few good apples in the barrel doesn't mean that the vast majority are not rotten through and through.
Okay, good thinking, Barbara. And now from Washington, D.C., this is Wallace Gladstone.
And Barbara Merkin.
Thanking you for being with us and signing off.
Hey, compadre G, it's me, your old Schifoso, Bibi the Bozo, with an offer you can't refuse. We're gonna bring you a complete collection of the White House basement tapes, courtesy of the Republican Party. What a party! You're gonna get all the greatest themes of the Nixon years, including this classic hit.
One other thing I probably should tell you, because if I don't, they'll probably be saying this about me too. We did get something to give after the election. A man down in Texas heard Pat on the radio mention the fact that she doesn't have a mink coat. And believe it or not, the day before we left on this campaign trip, we got a message from the Union Station in Baltimore saying they had a package for us. We went down to get it. You know what it was? It was just a little less than $10,000. Every cent of that, incidentally, was in government bonds. And I just want to say this right now, that regardless of what they say about it, we're going to keep it.
Yes, corporations have been covering Dick Nixon for years, and that's why they picking all the Nixon bagmen like me. But listen, hey, Paisan, you said now you're also going to get this beautiful speech.
When I was inaugurated for a second term this past January 20th, I gave each member of my cabinet and each member of my senior White House staff a special 4-year calendar with each day marked to show the number of days remaining to the administration. In the inscription on each calendar, I wrote these words: "The end justifies the means. Two wrongs make a right. I should come first, and this nation second."
And you're going to fall right on your labanza when you hear this. Listen good.
I have a quality which I guess I must have inherited it from my Midwestern mother and father, which is that I'm frantic, hysterical, brittle, shell-shocked, unable to act. I'm a tyrant, dictator, and I should be impeached.
Yes, so you're going to get every one of the famous Watergate tapes. And Dickie Nixon, he's going to give them to you free. That's right, free, free, free. Because that way, he gets another $500,000 tax deduction.
But if you feel you need more information, write to me, and I'll give it to you for $300,000.
Just send me your checks, or your money orders, or your sister, your finger, your 30 shorts, anything you got. The Vasco Enterprises, Nicaragua. Listen, Honduras, anywhere, we're going to find you. You find us.
And now, here's Jerry.
Hey, well, hello. How you doing, everybody? We got a great show for you tonight and for the next 3 years. Hey, a funny thing happened to me on the way to the White House. I crossed the road to get to the other side. Okay. Oh, listen, how do you get a floor to unscrew a light bulb? Well, first of all, you take red suspenders, you get a ladder, and you take two people and turn the ladder and one...
We'll be back with the thrilling final chapter of the American Revolution after a word from our sponsor.
What's that you want?
Oh, please, sir. I want Fergusley Park, the new record album by Steeler's Wheel.
Fergusley Park, huh?
Yes, sir. Far I have traveled for it. My very soul yearns for it. Tell me, please, do you have Fergusley Park?
Indeed, I do have that album, young lady.
Oh, then I've come to the right record store.
A good businessman. A good businessman. So they made you a star.
Now, where's my money?
I am but a wee small child, sir. I have no money.
Well, then how about it?
Oh, thank you, sir. God love you, sir.
With your feet off the ground.
Fergusley Park by Steeler's Wheel is on A&M.
They read in the press all about your success. They believe every word they've been told. After all you've been through, tell me what will you do when you find...
Hi, it's me, and I'm here at Just Jeans, leaning against the cash register, watching folks sign up for Just Jeans Sensational, all expense paid week for 3 at Disney World. That's where I live, you know. And you could visit me and all my friends at Disney World. Just for signing up, you can win airplane fares and 7 days and 6 nights at the Fantasyland Hotel, and coupon books and tickets to rides for 3 whole people for free. You probably aren't doing nothing, so come on over. You can even try on some of the nifty new jeans, tops, and belts they got here for you at Just Jeans. Oh gosh, they sure make guys and gals look real pretty. But don't forget, Just Jeans Dynamite Disney World Adventure. All you have to do is write your name, and shucks, even I can do that.
Register for the Dynamite Disney World Adventure now at 120 East 6th Street, Bloomington. All stores open every evening till Christmas.
National Lampoon Radio Hour, as well as much material considered a little too spicy for this here family-type wireless radio show, will be available on the forthcoming National Lampoon record album, The Missing White House Tapes. Subpoena it from your local record store with all deliberate speed.
Good evening. Now that most of the major witnesses in the Watergate phase of the Senate committee hearings on campaign practices have been heard, the time has come for me to speak out about the charges made for the American people. I shall not attempt to deal tonight with the facts. My effort throughout has been to hide the facts. On May 22nd, before the major witnesses had testified, I issued a detailed statement addressing the charges that had been made against the president. My statement has been contradicted by every witness in a position to know the facts. And I state tonight, I had prior knowledge of the Watergate break-in. I took part in subsequent cover-up activities. I engaged in illegal campaign tactics. On September 12th, at a meeting that I held with the cabinet, the senior White House staff, and a number of legislative leaders, Attorney General Kleindienst reported on the investigation. He told us it had been the most extensive cover-up since the assassination of President Kennedy. I relied on the best law enforcement agencies in the country to cover up the truth. I believed they had done so, just as they believed they had done so. Turning now to the basic issues which have been raised by Watergate, I stand for excessive partisanship, for enemy lists, for efforts to use the great institutions of government for partisan political purposes. The institutions of government must be used against the people. Those who insisted on the old restraints must be punished, brutally suppressed, shouted down, or even physically assaulted. If there are laws we disagree with, let us work to change them. But let us not obey them until they are changed. Many have urged that in order to help prove the truth of what I have said, I should turn over to the special prosecutor and the Senate committee recordings of conversation that I held in my office or on my telephone. However, the tapes implicate the president personally in the illegal activities that took place. If I were to make public these tapes, no one would want to speak to me. Thank you, and good evening.
If it's not asking too much, for our information, just for illustration, tell us how you intend to run the nation.
These are the laws of my administration.
Memo from the desk of Colson to Hagen staff for your eyes only. Add the persons responsible for the foregoing broadcast to the enemy's list. David Axelrod, Henry Beard, Paulie Beer, John Bellucci, Lenny Bruce, Chris Cerf, Chevy Chase, Wendy Craig, Jim Zack, Vic Dinnerstein, Warren Dewey, Paul Dooley, Paul Ginsberg, Christopher Guest, Gary Goodrow, Hugo...